Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bring Me to Life podcast. My name is Selomon, and as always, I am joined by my lovely cohort, Shannon Shine.
Hello. Thanks for waking up and shining on with us. Excited to do another podcast. It's been a minute, and we're doing some big things right now. I'm excited about them.
Doing a lot of big things, yes. And one of the big things that we just finished was Animal Series, something we had been working on for a long time.
Such a long time. Sorry if that took forever and you were waiting for those final episodes. We were in a transitional phase.
Big transitions coming on the horizon. We have been working on stuff behind the scenes for a while, and it does feel good to get back into the podcast because it's how we started.
Totally. So for those that don't know, we moved. We're no longer in the Maryland part of the Appalachia. We're now in the lower West Virginia, southern West Virginia, Appalachia. Still loving these mountains here.
Yeah, deep. We are deep in West Virginia, a place I don't think either of us thought we were going to be at this point in our lives.
No, but it's led to quite an adventure and an unlocking of new potential, new opportunities, new connections, new collaborations. Shout out to the Riff Raff Arts Collective for helping us through the Shine Online event earlier this year.
Our friend was big time with that. That was dope.
Yeah, we've got a new studio thanks to our friend Caleb. We're working in a new space, which feels really empowering.
Yeah, and speaking of the Shine Online, we actually, after this episode, future episodes, we're going to have some of the talks that we did on there through the podcast.
Yeah, and just one more shout out to Billy Morgan, who is hooking us up with some really amazing equipment so we sound extra professional, I hope.
Yeah, thanks, Billy.
Let us know how we sound. Billy's always been an amazing supporter of the Bring Me to Life community. We've had a few different interviews with them, and they've always kind of offered music to us. Yeah. There's different radio shows that have the Mad Scientist, Star Baby, and the Rolling Ohms played at the Crystal Chalice Awards.
They did at the Crystal Chalice Awards, which was epic, and we continue to hear about that.
Yeah, the Crystal Chalice Awards was such a game changer, and I still have a dream to have a Crystal Chalice Gala fundraiser type event in the future. So if you missed our Crystal Chalice Awards, continue following us. But like I said, we got some big dreams, big things coming. And one of them, like Sela says, is this is kind of our end of a season episode or beginning of a new chapter episode.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We took like a year to really realign with what the vision for Bring Me to Life Network is going to be. And there for a while, we were in like a bumpy transitional phase. But right now, I'm feeling really grateful for all the different things we had to go through so that we can feel extra empowered to step into the next chapter.
Yeah. Sometimes I think like it can be easy to get burnt out as well. And at one point, we were doing a lot, which is amazing. It's good for the world, I believe.
We're still doing a lot.
We are still doing a lot, but we took a second to, like you said, reevaluate with Bring Me to Life and what we wanted to accomplish with it, and kind of just do another 5-year plan. And sometimes you need that. You need to take a second to step back, look at things, and take a break, because when you come back, I believe you're going to come back with more passion, with more excitement.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, there's many different podcasts I've been listening to over the years, which, funnily enough, I didn't even know what a podcast was until you appeared in my reality almost 9 years ago. Like next week, it'll be 9 years ago. That's crazy. And Bring Me to Life and the idea of podcasts was seeded into my reality. And many of the different podcasts I've listened to, they've also had to take breaks, or they've created new podcasts, or they've just had to like take a second, because eventually...
That one guy that you listen to, he's like, it happens.
Yeah. And like, they always say too, like, you don't want to just create a podcast where you're just completely babbling into a microphone. I know that's what it seems like sometimes, is you're just talking to a microphone, but I like to make...
What, me?
I like to make content that actually feels inspiring and feels like it's got some really good snippets to take from it, or there's a mission behind what I'm saying. And speaking of mission, I'd really love to kind of just share with the audience what our current mission for the Bring Me to Life project is.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea. Everybody, take a seat, get comfortable, grab a drink, and listen to this. This is going to be an important message for Bring Me to Life.
let me get my professional voice on. So our mission for the Bring Me to Life Network is to inspire, empower, and connect a diverse group of people, being artists, musicians, changemakers, or individuals that are on a transformative or self-empowering journey, whether it's in their professional life, their creative life, maybe even their spiritual life. We've been moving more into like the creativity and the self-empowerment phase. We've had a lot of connections and collaborations with authors and artists and musicians that are really looking to take their passions to the next level. So through our podcasts, our media network, and the collaborative events we work with, and the other networks we've been working with, we want to create a supportive platform and just a collaboration of people that are on this self-empowerment, self-development journey. There's a lot of creativity again, and community engagement is something that we have been working on for a long time. And sometimes it's hard with the community engagement because so many people are stuck in the portals of social media. Mm-hmm. And a lot of creators are kind of tired of just shouting into the voids of the Facebook and the Instagram and whatever social media is your thing. And you're reaching the same people over and over. But when you create community engagement on other platforms such as Bring Me to Life Network, and you have an article written about you, or you create your own podcast, or you're featured on someone else's podcast, you're reaching a whole new audience. And when others that are listening to whatever that content is start to engage with you, you're able to expand and develop in such a beautiful way. So we're dedicated to empowering not only beginners, but those that maybe have a little bit more seasoning under them, but to share and uplift their content and to provide accessible tools and knowledge and opportunities and connections to really activate your dreams and explore your passions in a different way. It's really important to work with others. And sometimes you can feel really alone. And one of the reasons I was really excited about the Bring Me to Life project when it very first started was it gave me an opportunity to feel less alone in bringing my projects to life. Mm-hmm. Even just between Selo and I, and having Selo support me was just such a different way of creating and manifesting because somebody else was there to cheer me on. And that's what we really want to do with Bring Me to Life. We want to embrace collaboration. We want to celebrate the diverse voices. We want to co-create a vibrant space where inspiration can come to life and passionate people can find their wings in a community to support their dreams to thrive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really like that. It's become clear when we started doing this that a lot of our content, a lot of the people that we were connecting with were ones that were doing work that, helps to empower others. And a lot of that was through creativity. Yeah. A lot of musicians, a lot of artists, a lot of writers and storytellers like we've met and interviewed.
Right. And Project Bring Me to Life, the kind of early baby form of this concept was you going on your own journey to feel self-empowered and to explore your creativity. And you were creating kind of like docu-shorts and just documenting your journey to kind of go out into the world. Yeah. And that's beautiful and powerful. But it seems like you quickly realized, even just meeting me, that there's others out there that have a voice and the mission's bigger than just us. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a random panic attack, the first one I ever had in my life. And I realized like I wasn't being creative. I was working, I had friends and I was going out and stuff like that. And I had a social life, but like I wasn't creating anything. And that was like, I'm not going to leave anything behind. I started thinking about death and all that stuff. But then and then I started just looking into meditation. The universe started sending me all these things, the chakras. That's when I started listening to podcasts. That's when I started to, learn about the, all the chakras that we have in different forms of meditation. And I wanted to kind of like get away from society and get back into just my connection with the universe, with my creativity, with, just enjoying life. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go on a journey. And then, a big part of that is like, it is nice to go through that awakening, but it can feel really lonely because the world out there is not everybody's awake. Mm-hmm. I forget that sometimes because we built such a beautiful community. But you go out into the world and some people aren't like aware of certain things that I'm trying not to be like I'm better than anybody, because I know a lot of us when we first start going through that might feel that way. But
it's not even a better or not better thing. It's more of like some people haven't even had the opportunity to explore their creativity or to just get out of survive mode and step into thrive mode. And maybe not thrive mode, but a space in their day-to-day life where they're allowed to play with art or play some music or explore what it means to be creative. They're so busy just trying to survive, just, working their day-to-day jobs, feeding themselves, bathing themselves, those human tasks we have to do that seem so mundane. But for a lot of people, they haven't woke up yet to their bigger purpose, whatever that may be. And that doesn't make you necessarily better or worse than anyone. It just means that you've really tapped into the essence of wanting to feel more alive. You're not just surviving anymore. You're living.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this world it is hard, and it does kind of grind you down sometimes, and it can be easy to fall into that, and especially if everybody around you is in that space as well. But being able to connect with this kind of creative community of people trying to help others empower themselves is such a beautiful opportunity that we all have to create together, which I really wanted Bring Me to Life to be about, was like all of us doing this together.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so grateful for the stability and the support that has stemmed from the powerful seed that you and I have been creating for all these years. And the Bring Me to Life Network really helps support that evolution of creativity. And we want to create a cultural preservation by really celebrating different collaborative sets of diverse voices, not just our own. We want to welcome others into stepping into their creative power. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you could be an author. You might want to write more. You might want to do photography. Maybe you're a dancer. There's so many different forms of creativity and self-empowerment. And I think they go hand in hand, because when you allow yourself to be creative, you're exploring something that is empowering you, something that's making you feel, not just a cog in the machine, not just another number or another body. Like, you're creating something in this world, whether that's your experience or something that you're able to put your hands on, or something you want to sell, or something that you want to get into other people's hands. Like that preservation of your creativity is so powerful. In being able to interview people on podcasts and give them that opportunity to talk about what it is they want to share, or to empower them to create their own podcast so that they can then create their own community and collaborate with other podcasters or writers or creators. It's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people out there who want to be creative, and they have this urge to write or to do a book, but maybe, somebody back when they were a kid was like that painting sucks, you're horrible. And then they just grow up thinking like they're not a good painter. I've heard so many fucking times, I don't have a creative bone in my body. And yes, you absolutely do. We're all reflections of the grand creator. Like, we all have this ability to create something, whether it's a story, whether it's a poem, whether it's a song, whether it's a movie or a film, whatever it is. Like, if you have that urge in you, you have the ability to bring it out.
Yeah. One of our scholars and elders, Tim Mainland, he was recently talking to me about how he really hates the word talent, because he's a musician, he's a doctor, and like he's got a master's degree in music and stuff like that. And he says so many people say, "Oh, that person's just talented. I can't do that." And he says he hates the word talent because it's not talent. It's the drive and the willingness to explore something and to dedicate energy towards, learning music or being artistic. And it's not just, oh, that person is artistic. I hear that all the time. People are like, oh, you're so talented, or like, oh, you're so artistic. And it's like, well, I've been, scribbling and drawing and playing with colors since as long as I can remember. And there's many things that you might look at that I've created that would not say that I'm talented or like special. It's really like the dedication to being willing to fail and to keep trying. Like some of my paintings I probably would not share with the world because they were experiments, but I didn't give up on figuring it out till I was happy with sharing something. And I think that's part of what our platform is offering too, is a learning and educational space as well. Like we want to teach people, we want to teach people how to be creative. We want to invite people, I should say, how to be creative and to
like hold space for them.
Yeah, hold space for them. Support them with workshops and podcasts and opportunities. You recently hosted a podcast, or not a podcast, a meditation that was really nice because I had been in the office all day and I had been working on a bunch of graphics and just web design and just like very like digitally things. And then your workshop was about creative storytelling. And I was like, man, I've been storytelling all day while building websites and stuff. Like, why should I meditate about it? But then I went and I got cozy, and you had a stretch first, which was really nice. It kind of got me out of my head for a second. Even though my body was really stiff and I was kind of whiny about it. It did feel good. But then the meditation,
Thank you.
Yeah, the meditation, it was short and sweet, but it took me out of, you put me in my body with the stretches and then took me out of the body and into more of a creative realm with the meditation, so that it got me out of work mode for even just a few moments so that I could explore what creative projects I've wanted to work on recently that I maybe have been pushing to the side for work.
Yeah.
Work. And then I was able to, I journaled for a while, and I doodled. I didn't really draw anything magnificent, but like I played with some colorful pens and I just kind of expressed what I was feeling in the moment. And even just that like half hour of you witnessing me with your meditation and like holding space for me and the others with that meditation, I think really went a long way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. And I love doing the creative storytelling workshop. I've done it at one time before, so but I loved it. And doing it again, I was very excited. To do it. I thought the stretches would be a good way to like get back into the moment, and also, it makes you feel a little bit better. So when you sit down, like you're a little more comfortable. And the meditation wasn't long, but I wanted people to, just go into their mind somewhere relaxing, like visualizing a garden. And then after that, kind of like let everything disappear, visualize your mind's eye as a blank canvas ready for you to, bring on some visions. And then just like allow your mind to witness any colors, any shapes, any visions that come to you, allow them to flow in. And then just, absorbing that for a moment, feeling good, feeling relaxed, breathing, and then coming back out of the meditation, letting everybody, create from that vision that they had. So I was like, bring to mind if you have any words that want to come out onto the page. Just allow any visions that want to be expressed to come to you, any shapes or colors. And I'm curious what you experienced during that.
I was having a hard time seeing the shapes and the colors, but what it did for me was it kind of just held space for me to visualize the direction I want to go in. As I said at the beginning, we're going through a really big transitional phase. There's a lot of things shifting in our reality. They've been shifting since we moved a year ago. It's been just like constant moving, like lots of moving our stuff, moving places, moving studios, helping people move lots of things for events. So I've just been on the move a lot. So being still, I did feel like I was being kind of wrapped in colorful energy, but I also just used the time to really kind of set an intention for this next chapter. And for me, that is like really wanting to accept the growth and the abundance to thrive. And I think after the meditation, I actually told you I would really like to do a meditation where we do set like an intention and visualize something and then maybe share it with each other so that we can hold the space for everybody's visions to come together.
So you're talking about like a group where each person visualizes what they would like to bring to life. And then at the like end or halfway through, be like, all right, now visualize everybody receiving.
Right. Like I'm visualizing like I said, the abundance and the stability, but also like I'm trying to visualize what it feels like to be a continuously booked public speaker and an author and an artist that's constantly selling out my artwork. Like those are all those big dreams, but also just like being able to hold space for others. I know one of the other attendees is working on writing her book, and being able to visualize her standing there with a book and telling me how excited she is about it, and allowing that to come in. And I listen to this other podcast a lot called the Synchronicity Podcast, and that guy's hilarious. And he talks about like the imagination a lot, and how people literally like pay him to just imagine things for them. And part of what he does is he just imagines them telling him that they succeeded and that they were so grateful for him doing just him meditating on this thing for them. And I've always thought that was so cool. And I've tried to hold space for it when someone
I feel like you tell me to meditate on stuff.
I do. Like if I'm having trouble letting go of the other outcomes, I'm like, hey, can you like visualize, this thing going away or this thing happening? Or, like sometimes I'm like, can you just visualize a parking spot really close? I'm really hot. I don't feel like walking all the way through the parking lot. Just like little things like that could go a long way. But what I was getting at with that is, part of what I love about Bring Me to Life is, again, we're not only cheerleaders, we're a team, but us visualizing the success with you is such a powerful thing, because you're not all on your own. Like, I don't know if I would have ever actually written my first book had I not seen you do it and you support me through it. Yeah. And now we have our collaborative project through Shine Time Publishing, where we're helping try to empower others to write their book. We helped Keenan Rayner earlier this year publish a book called 24. And we did a lot of the formatting for them, and we just helped them realize that it's possible. We showed them our books, they believed in it, and then they stepped into it. And we're working with a couple other authors right now, and it's just really nice to see people feel less alone and to feel excited about what they're working on. Have you ever been in a group where someone's really excited about something and they share it and then they just have no response, and you can just see the light kind of like leave their soul for a second because they didn't feel witnessed?
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling. It's part and parcel with what we're doing here. We're witnessing. And like the reason I created a book, I wanted to coin this term for the rest of my books and stories and things that I create, called the Seloverse. And I read that if you have a word that you create that you then put into a product that you sell, basically like you kind of have that trademarked in a way. So I'm like, I need to write a book and call it Seloverse so I can have that.
And that's like the reality that you're creating in your written stories, and most of your stories are all going to be in that universe.
It's a fictional universe, but it's going to have stories.
Kind of like DC and Marvel and all them have like their own worlds.
I was thinking Star Trek even. Because
Star Trek, yeah.
It's going to be more like Star Trek, I think.
We love Star Trek.
Yeah, and it's funny because I wrote the book, I published it, and then I got like a hard version of it. I bought it and came in the mail, and I showed you, and you're in my mind, you were like, probably like, dude, this is so freaking cool.
I was really proud of you. I had been wanting to write a book for a long time, and I still have many that I want to bring into life, but like just seeing how nicely put together yours were, that was really cool. And when you made our first CDs, I guess you made your meditation CD first. And
I started making CDs first that were pretty...
Such a trailblazer, man. You're
professional.
Setting the bar. Yeah.
And then one dude, I remember we were at a fair or something selling that stuff, and this dude was like, who buys CDs anymore? I'm like, actually, I've sold like a lot of them. Like a lot of people still buy CDs.
And people are asking us for more CDs. We need to record something with our newer instruments.
Yeah, we're going to record a new album here.
But we help other people, create their stuff. And I do think some of our projects go a little slower because we're so adamant about helping other people with their projects. But that's okay. I feel like that's part of our mission here, is to create collaborations and sustainability, and not everything has to happen at once. People have to remind me this all the time, that it's about the journey. It's not about how much you have done right now. but to stay consistent and
consistency,
to focus on it and to do a little bit each day if you can. And if not each day, like as often as possible. Don't just keep saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I've been trying to write in my journal more. I've been working on a lot of different notes and organization of books and songs and projects that I'm working on. And you know, sometimes you go through chapters where if you're moving a lot or you've got a lot of other things that are distracting you, it is hard. It really is hard. But when you get over the wave and you come back and you refocus and you ask yourself, like, what kind of mark or impact do I want to leave in the world? And if I, you know, left tomorrow, if I disappeared tomorrow, what would I want to leave here? And I have so many different book ideas that I want to share, and paintings that I've already created and I wish to create, and music. And, you know, like I would love for generations beyond me to be able to witness that or engage with that. And I don't think that's self-centered. I think it's self-empowering to think that each of us as individuals come here with an opportunity to leave a mark in some way. And right now it's podcasting for us. And I'm really excited for the new season and the new content that we're about to be releasing.
Yeah. In this moment right here, right now, it is podcasting. But it is something to be empowered with, is knowing when we go from this world, we have things that we can leave behind that others can connect with. And maybe it helps them through a similar thing that they might be going through. Like creativity is really good for helping you work through trauma. And maybe somebody else has gone through or is going through that kind of same trauma, and something that you can create from it to help and like just express what you're going through. Like having that connection can be huge to your healing. So also just like, I want to leave something good behind for this world, you know, and being able to create stuff is a way to do that. The stories, the paintings, the videos,
the meditations,
music, the meditations. So, like,
real quick, you mentioned that you led a meditation earlier, and you said you want to leave things behind. Something that you've created that people can access is your meditations on Insight Timer.
Yeah, I have a decent amount on Insight Timer right now, and they continuously get plays. It's always so good to go back and like look at the comments.
Yes, leave comments. They actually help other people find us on Insight Timer, but they help us continue to create content. So please, if you listen to a meditation on Insight Timer, go leave a comment. Insight
Timer has been amazing, and I've been thinking of getting more into it. So yeah, Shannon and I are both on Insight Timer. You're on there as Shannon Shine, and I'm on there as Selomon, Selomon.
I might be on there as Shantastic Shine. I can't remember.
I guess we'll have to check.
You just have to look me up, guys. There's a money magnet meditation that Sela's been rocking for a while. That's been really cool.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because as I've been listening to it more and more, I'm seeing the numbers of other people listening to it more and more as well. So it's helping you get more plays.
I appreciate that. So this next chapter of podcasts, we're going to be looking to help support more people. We're going to do some more interviews. When we originally started the Bring Me to Life podcast, it was a lot more interview based. We did talk to a lot of people. We did a lot of collaborations. We've done a few different spin-off podcasts and series and things, but I think you're definitely going to get a lot of podcasts with Sela and I kind of just sharing experiences, but we're looking to get some more interviews. And these next few episodes that are going to pop up are actually some replay content from our earlier Shine Online event from this year, where we're featuring talks with people from the Riff Raff Arts Collective community and their We Need to Talk project, which I'm really excited about. I really love the creation of music videos and the ability to reframe music as an empowerment tool. Growing up, you know, we listened to a lot of wild music. Like, just, I'm not going to call out names or songs, but like there were some wild things that I'm listening to as an adult. Like, wow, that's what we were programming ourselves with. But the Riff Raff Arts Collective, they find musicians that have a really inspiring message or a message that is something that we need to talk about. And the We Need to Talk project just released their second music video, which if you look close enough, you can see CeeLo and I as Easter eggs in that video and their first video.
Yeah.
So their first video was The Time Is Now by Option 22, and their most recent release is Compassion and Contrast by James Hart, who's actually one of my music teachers now. He's teaching me how to play mandolin and keyboard. So grateful for those musical influences we have here. And we have a few talks with Lori and Billy Morgan about that project from Shine Online. There's a discussion with Keenan Rayner, one of the authors we've helped support in creating their book, and I also made their website. So if you're looking for some basic website design for an artist, an author, a musician, or another project, I'm doing some basic web design for people right now. And graphic design, just trying to help people, take that passion project and bring it to life, because maybe you're overwhelmed with creating a website or a logo. Maybe you have no idea where to start a podcast and you really want to start a podcast. CeeLo and I are here to help you. CeeLo is kind of the magic man behind that. He's our podcast wizard. And again, we're just looking forward to creating new interviews or holding space for more interviews. So if you know somebody with an amazing project, or you are that person, reach out to us. Let us know why we should, take some time to sit down and talk with you. And if you're not much of a talker on the microphone, maybe we can send you some questions and we can post an article. Yeah. We're all about those articles. And something I didn't mention as much in the mission statement is, by creating these different outlets, whether it's a podcast or an article or a website, it helps you be found on the internet world, which is a huge part of reality right now. If somebody Googles your name or whatever, and not just your website comes up, but an interview comes up and an article comes up and a news press comes up or a picture comes up.
If you Google some people's names, like the podcasts we've done come up at the front page.
Oh yeah. I've been at festivals and people will tell me that they've looked up our friends Lacey or Ashton, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I listened to them on a podcast. Have you heard of this Bring Me to Life podcast? And I'll kind of giggle, because I'm like, yeah, that's us. And they're like, what, really? But just they found information about those artists on the podcast where, they might not have been able to learn as much about those kinds of people before and what their missions was behind their creative projects. So I'm really grateful to have this space. And there's a few other podcasts, spinoffs that I'm really excited to see come to life when the time is right. I want to do one where we're featuring artists a little bit more. Lacey and I have been talking about that. And then we'll probably do some more musician interviews and get the radio kind of going steadily again here. But there's so many amazing radio podcasts and playlists that on the Bring Me to Life network already, that you could go into the radio and probably listen for days, months, years, and still never hear all of them.
There's a lot of them, and they're all most of them are around 4 hours.
Some of them were 5 hours from when we had Mountain Shine, and you were rocking the network in the back of the gallery for a long time. Yeah. But these upcoming Shine Online replays, I would love to have feedback on those. And Shine Online this year, we didn't get to really talk about it or promote it on the podcast because we didn't have the podcast studio set up, but we had the video studio set up thanks to the Riff Raff Collective. And just the quality of Shine Online this year was so on point. I was so proud of all of the energy that went into it, the people that showed up, and the quality of the videos. So yes, listen to them here on the podcast, but if you are a video person, you like that visual, go check out the videos on our YouTube. I'm so grateful for us being able to pull through that, because we were going through some, like I said, shifts. It's been a shifty year.
2023, the year of shifts, but luckily, we survived the whole intense 2020 reshifting. Ooh,
yeah, what a crazy relaunching back into the world.
Yeah,
but I think that's really all I have for this episode. We're getting ready to go to the Artist Thrive conference together. CeeLo and I are going to Artist Thrive thanks to the Tamarack Foundation, and we're hoping to meet and connect with some new people. So if you're listening to this and you're from Artist Thrive, thanks for coming here to find us and actually checking us out.
Thank you. We love you.
We would love for you to reach out to us. You can email us at projectbringme2life@gmail.com. That's with the number 2. You can
go to bringme2life.com.
Yeah, with the number 2.
Number 2.
We have a Facebook group called the Bring Me to Life Community.
Bring Me to Life.
Yeah, I found that there's a lot more engagement in the community group versus the pages, which that's just social media for you. But you can follow the Bring Me to Life Network on Instagram and Facebook as well. And it's been nice being near this microphone again. Is there anything else you want to share, CeeLo?
I am grateful for anybody who has listened to the whole podcast. Like, holy moly, thank you so much. You're the best. You're the mother effing best. And yeah, we just really appreciate you. We really appreciate this opportunity to do these podcasts. And it is good. Like I said, like taking a little bit of a break, you come back, I feel more excited. I feel more like passionate about this. And yeah, so thank you all for listening. There's more podcasts out there here at Bring Me to Life. This is episode 245, so you have 244 other episodes to check out if you would like to.
On top of all of our spin-off podcasts and other things that you can find at bringmetolife.com.
Yeah, it's all there, bringmetolife.com. Thank you so much. Stay awake.
Shine on always.
For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.